When Harri Met Sally, a photography podcast, would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the lands and waters in which we are recording this podcast on today. As people who work with artists seeking meaning and knowledge through storytelling, we recognise the first peoples of this nation have been doing so for over 60,000 years. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging across Australia. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
And the When Harri Met Sally podcast would be nothing without our fabulous sponsors, would it, Harri?
Absolutely.
So first of all, we'd love to welcome a new sponsor on board for this year, which is the RACV. Thank you so much for being a wonderful sponsor, and we're really excited about having you on for Season 3.
And we'd like to welcome back and thank Nikon Australia, who are always a part of supporting the creative industries in Australia. Ted's Cameras, thank you so much for joining us again. And A&L Artistic Framers, who are just fabulous people to work with.
And last but not least, Collarts. Thank you for the pod suites. This is our third year in here. We have added ferns and all sorts of wonderful things into the pod suite room this year. And it's without you, we wouldn't have a podcast really, would we?
We certainly wouldn't, and we hope you enjoy the episode.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Harri, we're here again.
Hi, Sal.
How are you, darling?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Excellent. So as part of this season, what's really exciting is we're talking to people that employ photographers. So as we've talked about throughout the rest of the season, it's from all walks of life.
Absolutely.
But I'm really interested in talking to the wonderful Renee Chung today.
Hi.
Renee.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
And the
Thanks
reason
for coming on.
Yeah, our pleasure. I first met Renee many years ago when you were a student at Swinburne.
Yes, that's right.
And you came to several events that I talked at, and then you sort of got out into life. And what's really interesting about Renee is you were always this wonderful student, but you were so multi-skilled. You'd done advertising,
Yes.
you'd done marketing,
Yep.
done design.
Yes, the double degree of design and advertising. So already that was multifaceted.
Yeah.
And then off into the real world with those 2 degrees.
Yeah, and then you found it really hard to sort of find a place in the world, I guess, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess because people back then were looking for those more siloed jobs, and as you can sort of see over the last decade, I guess, people are now looking for these more generalist or people who can do a variety of things. And so actually, as my career has progressed, I found that those multifaceted skills are more in demand.
Yeah,
So interesting.
It is interesting, and you can talk about that at where you're teaching at the moment, teaching students like that. But when you came to see me as to consult with you about your career, it was one of those things where you were so skilled at many areas, and we had to sort of really sit down and think about what it was that you wanted to do. And you've ended up finding this fantastic niche in as a content manager?
Content manager, social media manager and influencer manager. It's all sort of wrapped into this one role, which is
amazing.
Which, 20 years ago we'd be going, influencers, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So the reason I said at the beginning was why I'm really excited to talk to you is you are part of the new wave of how people are working with photography.
Yeah, absolutely. And so is this something like you talked about how things have changed in the last decade quite a lot, and so is this something that you envisioned for yourself when you finished studying? Is this what you thought you wanted to be doing, or has that changed?
Well, I always wanted to be sort of more in the art direction space.
Yeah.
But then social media really does include art direction as well, because there's all of that strategic thinking behind it and branding elements. And then that really does tie into how you make content and what content you brief influencers for, what content you want photographers to take. So it all sort of takes this overarching look at the creative content that comes out.
Yeah, amazing.
So when you did your double degree, were you more interested in design or advertising?
A bit of both, actually. So if I go right back to high school, I was all into the theatre and the media and all that sort of thing. Very creative.
Yeah.
And I thought,
yes. And when you came here, tell me what you said.
Oh, yeah. So I actually auditioned for Collarts back in the day. I got
so
in to the songwriting course there and decided, you know what, Renee, maybe marketing's a little bit better. I'll go off to Swinburne to do that instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got the
Not
whole...
that there was anything wrong with Collarts.
No, I would have still loved to come to
They
Collarts.
didn't do that here then in those days,
Yeah,
did they?
they
They were
didn't, no.
still the music.
Yes,
Just
correct.
sort of make that clear.
Correct.
We love Collarts.
We do.
Yep.
And yeah, so into the double degree at Swinburne instead. And
was that a good idea in retrospect? Was I can't decide to do advertising or design, so I'll do both? Is that kind of how it works?
so 15-year-old me was looking at these skills. I was a bit ready to do the career thing already at 15.
Wow.
And I was looking at these skills I had in photography, and I really liked making little videos with my brothers and stuff, and songwriting. I thought, how can I bring all these different areas together and make a career out of it? And I thought, you know what, the graphic design part of things is a bit missing. So I thought I'll go do that, and I'll add the advertising as the double degree to sort of bring that all together. And I think still that's one of the best decisions I made. Thanks, 15-year-old Renee.
Well, 15-year-old Renee was very grown up. Did you have a mentor or somebody to talk you through that, or did you just come up with that all on your own?
I think I came up with it on my own,
Look at
but
you.
maybe
I knew
Taylor
you were
Swift.
fabulous. Taylor Swift!
Yeah.
A mentor to so many.
Yes.
So do you
great.
find that with what you're doing now that there's that element of the creativity still? Like, is it a very creative job that you have carved out for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have several clients that I look after their social media for, and you just have a quote-unquote boring industry, but there are so many ways you can make it fun. And one of the things I really love is figuring out how I can connect with people and where this product or service fits into their lives, and then telling that story. So it really does have these human elements and storytelling and bringing all the creativity to it. So it's a really good intersection of everything.
Yeah, amazing. So I guess, like, just for a bit of a novice, like I use social media, of course we all do, but perhaps not to its full capacity.
Yes.
So I guess, like, just walk us through, like, how do you work with clients? Do people approach you and then you come up with a sort of brand identity for them? Yeah,
a bit of both. So I've worked freelance before as a social media manager, and that exactly is how I start, always with the branding and what's the goal of your socials. Are you trying to grow a community, or is it all sales? And that's when you sort of strategize what content is going to get put out onto the socials.
Yeah.
I currently work in a digital marketing agency called Red Herring Digital, and I have several clients there where I definitely have this onboarding process with them where I say, what's the goal for the socials? What's the community you're trying to build? How are you different? How are we going to show that? And I come up with these content themes or pillars that we're going to repeat and put out to their audiences, and also map out what those audiences are. And that's one of the vital things that I don't think a lot of people do. And I think it also comes across to photography, to videography, to content creation, to influencers as well. If you don't know who the brand is talking to, and I mean really know who they're talking to, I'm not saying women aged 35 to 45 living in Melbourne. No, that's too broad. I need to understand what are their pain points in life. They're a mother, they've got young kids, they're not getting enough sleep. How are we going to match the product to these pain points and speak to
So are you
how we
talking to
solve
Harriet
them?
at the moment as the target audience? Sorry.
Could be.
I need sleep.
But understanding that is going to mean you carve out this community on socials where people are feeling seen and connected and heard. And that's the big part that people and a lot of brands I see are forgetting about is you're on social to be social. So start talking to people.
And can you give us an example of one of the clients that you work with at Red Herring?
Yeah, so I have a car hire client, and
say.
it is a
Car
car
hire
hire
client,
client,
yes.
and something that is a bit, what can I say, a USP for them is that they...
Just explain what that is, a USP.
A
in case people
USP,
don't know.
a unique selling proposition, so how they're different from other car hires, is that they are all done via the phone. So everything is just a button on the phone. You don't have to worry about keys.
Really?
You don't have to worry about going to a rental desk or signing anything over. It's all just done in an app. And you can just open the car with a click of the button on your phone. It's all done via a Bluetooth technology.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I always, one of our target audience is uni students. We say, oh, you've come here. Oh, they also do green peas. You can hire the car. So there's no restriction on the age except as long as you've got that green pea
So they're
license.
tailoring to a younger demographic.
Yeah, it's one of their audiences, absolutely. So some of the content we're putting out is around open days. Hey, you've come to uni, maybe you're an international student. They also allow international students with the license requirements. And that's the sort of content that we're putting out to say, hey, it's almost open day, or you've come to Melbourne and you want to explore but you haven't got a car, why not come and use this car hire? So yeah, just identifying those spots where you can talk to people and talk about their experiences.
Yeah.
And can I ask on that note, so let's go with this car hire company. So that's one stream. Do you look at another stream? Would you look at families that perhaps have decided not to have a car?
Absolutely.
And just hire a car on an as-need basis?
Absolutely. I have
Are you
done
still
that.
targeting me?
I have done
I wasn't
that.
going to say that. But I've talked to Harri
I
does that.
was actually like, can you please tell me the guy?
Yeah, because there are so many, and I knew Harriet did that, but there are so many people, and I've got a lot of my daughter's friends that aren't necessarily own their own cars, but they're just doing that, and they're working people and whatever.
Yep.
So it's a whole, again, you're at the sort of the coalface of all of these really new ideas coming through.
Yeah. And with this car hire company, I also look after the influencers. So something I did recently was go and offer a car hire for free to this mother who they don't have a car, and they went and did a family trip outside of, they were in Brisbane, so outside of where Brisbane public transport can get you, just to showcase, you don't need a car all the time, but when you do, here's an easy option for you.
Yeah.
Hire it, take it back, and it's done.
Now, was that person an influencer, or was she just a mum that you knew?
They were an upcoming influencer.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And how does one become an
Can we
upcoming
talk about
Are we
influencers?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we could be an influencer, Harri.
I think you are.
No,
You've
I
got the
just definitely
Instagram, you've
don't
got a
want-
podcast. I'd say you're an
really?
influencer. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh,
Do you know how much I love that? I know you do.
You love it. And I'm just like,
Do you know, we were out one night at an exhibition, and my daughter was there, and I jammed Harri into a photo booth to take photos.
Yep.
And then she jumped out, and then Lily came in, my daughter, and then I hear somebody go, "Excuse me, are you Harri from When Harri Met Sally?" And I'm in the photo booth going, "Oh my God, we're famous." Lily's going, "Mum, did you hear that?"
no, I'm like, oh, yes, thanks so much for listening. Oh, that's very kind of you.
Yes.
And trying to run away and hide because
Yep.
I'm so mortified and embarrassed.
Yes.
And Sally's like pushing herself out of the photo booth like, I'm sorry,
I'm
did
here."
someone say? That's why we work well together, I think.
Bit of yin and yang.
But no, tell me, so I'd love to know more about influencers, like, because I guess my idea of an influencer is sort of like, 4 million, followers and like beauty products or what does it
makes
mean?
an
What
influencer?
makes an influencer?
Well, I guess the line's getting increasingly blurry these days because I have a platform that I use called The Right Fit, and I'm a brand, but I'm someone who's hiring from this platform. You can either go on as an influencer where you're really building a community around a certain niche, or you can jump on as a content creator where you might be creating the little videos for brands where they've got chocolate bars or something and you're making your fun videos and you're talking about it and you're unwrapping it and doing reviews. That's very different to being an influencer where you've sort of built this community maybe about health foods, and the brand deals you get for that would more align to your health foods community compared to the content creator, which one day you're doing chocolate bars, one day you're doing car hire, one day you've got a free bikini to show off. It's very different.
So a content creator is maybe more self-run with things
Yes.
that they enjoy, that they want to promote, and an influencer brands will be engaging with them to sell to the community.
Yeah, and
Sending them earrings and wearing the earrings.
and
the
the
shirts
difference
and-
is that influencer probably is known in the community for liking shirts and earrings, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe a fashion influencer, for example, or a celebrity who's got that higher reach and influence.
And so, which is sort of an interesting segue into photography.
Yeah.
Which is what I really want to talk to you. Well, not really. I'm interested in everything you've got to say. But do these influencers do their own photography? How do you work with photographers and photography in your current job, let's say?
Yep. Well, so one of the influencers, content creators that I hired actually was a photographer as well. And I asked them to go off to Cairns and take some photos because we're not going to go off to Cairns, we're down here in Melbourne, of her road trip. And she got all of the things I needed. I gave her a lot of creative freedom, which I also think is important as someone who's briefing. You can give a brief, but you've also hired this photographer for a certain creative flair.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to let that shine and let them have that freedom, not just, okay, I need this shot, this shot, this shot, because that's sort of the reason you hired them, for their creativity.
And you found that person, through their Instagram posts or TikTok? Or
Through the Right Fit as
through
well.
the Right Fit?
Yeah.
And is this the single mum you were talking about?
No, this is
a different one?
Yeah.
And so was them being located in Cairns important, or did you send them to Cairns?
For this one, it was important, yes. We had new cars landing in Queensland, so I was doing a road trip content piece.
And so, sorry, did you say that photographer was an influencer?
Yeah, she was both content creator and photographer.
And that was important for you to have someone that had built a community around them in that influencer way that could also photograph?
Yes, yeah.
Rather than hiring a photographer through a different, through an agency or through a different format.
Yeah, I guess you could say the Right Fit platform was sort of my agency where I could sift through the people that applied for the role and then hire the one that I thought fit the best.
Yeah.
And have you ever had any clients that, let's say they're a pot plant client, looking at our beautiful pot plants that we have here, and they go, we want to do it ourselves?
I have, yes.
And how does that roll?
A lot of dark lighting, a lot of some blurry shots I've seen, a little bit of, that doesn't quite look like the elegant brand you're hoping to represent yourself as.
So do you see it as an educational process?
I do. I absolutely do.
Before or after they stuff it up?
Usually after. They look at it and we put it into the platform. So the agency I work at, we put it into meta ads or something to run a campaign, and they're just not going to do well because people, when they scroll, they're looking for something that jumps out at them or is a bit different. And, the iPhone content is not always the best.
Yeah.
So if somebody was going to come to you, they really need to work with someone like you. They really need to hand it over to you and say, you're the professional, you tell me what we need and how we're going to go about this.
Yeah, and it's not like they just hand it over and that's it. We do have the workshops where we sit down, discuss their brand, discuss how they're differentiating themselves. Sometimes a brand just differentiates themselves by their creativity. So maybe they've got really Art Nouveau kind of styling and setup compared to their competitor who just has it stacked in warehouses or something. And having that differentiator is then how you engage with that audience.
Yeah. And do some of them come to you with no idea?
Some of them do, and then we have that whole discussion and workshop as well.
And then you force them to think about it.
Yeah,
who are you talking to?
Yeah, it's sort of a who
what
are
colour
you?
do you like?
Yeah.
And that must be quite exciting.
Yeah.
It is. It's very much delving into people and their stories. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
And what are some of the breadth of the clients that you work with? Obviously with cars.
Yeah, so I've also got some sport clothing. I've got universities, student accommodation as well.
Oh, wow.
And then just before I worked at Red Herring, I've worked with some lingerie brands and some IT companies and a very broad range
really broad.
of things.
And what's the core thing through all of them?
Probably that branding piece. Who are you? How are you different? Who are you speaking to? What problems are you solving?
Yeah. So, and for across all these, is somewhere like the Right Fit a place that you will go to find photographers?
Yeah, for when I need photographers, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our agency also has a studio downstairs, so we will do some of our own with our own photographer and content creator.
Yeah.
Do you have an in-house one?
We do, yes.
Is it a full-time position?
The photographer, yes.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a minute because that's something that's also quite curious. You know, many years ago we wouldn't have had jobs for full-time photographers, and now there's a lot of them. So what do they fill their days with if you're also going out and using other photographers?
Yeah, so because it's a small agency, and like me, I've got multiple different tasks that I do under one role. So he's more of a creative director, photographer, website, and then our content creator also does he does videography and editing as well. So we've combined a few roles into these one people. And then we've got our studio downstairs. So whenever we need content for, say, our sport clothing brand, we can go down and shoot some fun stuff.
Yeah, great.
Wow. And does that role change a lot, or has this person been there for a number of years? Is that something that they get bored with? You know, I think a lot of full-time jobs tend to be a bit sausage factory for photographers and they kind of do it for a couple of years and then they think, no, I need to be more creative. Or is it a role where there's a lot of creativity involved and they kind of want to stay in it?
I think there's always creativity because the platforms that we're putting these out onto websites and social media, and ads are always changing and always needing new creative. So there's always the opportunity to try something new, and what hook can we get people into this time to keep them looking at
what's
the
the
content?
hook?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the really big thing, isn't it?
At the moment, yes.
The hook.
And so this is an industry that's like really at the forefront of advertising and marketing and the content and influencer industry. So are you seeing it change sort of all the time?
Yes. Now that AI has come into the picture, and now that if you don't really know who you are, it's really obvious. People need to be able to sort of understand the niche and who they're talking to, because if not, that your content gets lost. You don't know who you're speaking to. You don't know what their pain points are, like I was saying before, which means your content is sort of just there. It's not doing anything.
Yeah. It's quite a, it feels good to know that, like, in all this, because it feels a bit overwhelming to me, social media and the rate that you have to like keep up with it. But it feels like that feels nice that at the heart of it all, it's all about like knowing your people and knowing your community, knowing your story, and that's the like roots of all creativity, really, isn't it?
And I'm seeing a lot at the moment for 2026 is that you don't want these little, I guess you could call them little cheap videos where people are just doing something, then walking away, or there's just text on the screen. What we're seeing is the rise of social media mini-series. So you've got repeatable content that comes up.
I'm all of a sudden, I'm pretty excited about that.
Your influencer era is coming.
Harri, look out, baby. Mini-series, go. Talk to me more about that.
So we already know that people are spending more time on social media and YouTube than they are watching actual live-to-air TV. But it's sort of come full circle, is that part's missing out of people's lives, and they want to see these little repeatable series and things that are familiar to them. It keeps them coming back. And that's where creators and influencers have a great opportunity to sort of jump on that train.
It would be remiss of me not to say, do you think you could make a mini-series about us?
Absolutely.
Sally's just beaming.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about that. Is that something that we could talk about maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think we're already doing a pretty good job?
I think you've got a podcast already, so a mini-series would be a very easy segue.
And where would that mini-series go?
Yeah,
Hollywood?
YouTube or TikTok or something like that,
We've got obviously we're on YouTube now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we might have a little bit of a conversation about that. Because, we are who we are. Like when we decided to make a podcast, when I decided that we were going to make a podcast, and Harriet said, well, how do you make one? I went, I don't know, it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
And then we found out, right? And we're still learning.
Yeah.
So we are very much about that. And because we both work with so many young people and things as well, our audience is quite big, but we do know our people.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. We have I think our community is not just the podcast community, it's the communities that we've both built over the last few decades in all the other things we do, and it's sort of grown into this as well.
Do you think we could be AbFab
of
the podcast community? Sorry.
Make a drink like AbFab.
Maybe I could have a bottle of Bolly on the table or... sorry, I digress. So let's go back to photography. So you mentioned before people that are just using their iPhones. So with photographers that you're employing as content creators, are they shooting on cameras or are they shooting on iPhones, or how's it working, or do you leave it up to them?
A bit of both. So I guess you could say there's a right and a wrong way to use your iPhone, because you've got to use the same sort of photography techniques with your framing and your styling and what you're setting up. If that's shot on
pretty good
iPhone,
now, iPhones,
they
aren't
are
they?
really good. So I guess if you've got that background and understand what you're doing, an iPhone's fine. It's more just if you're a business owner and you've decided, well, I'm just going to shoot that and no thought behind it, then that's where you really need to get that expertise from the photographers or an art director who can see the vision and sort of build you out this suite of who you are and what that looks like style-wise.
So I guess I'd like to ask you, it might be a bit out of the wheelhouse, but for photographers that are listening to this that want to do their own marketing and maybe they can't afford to have a brand ambassador or but they want to kind of be a bit more intentional about the marketing they're doing on socials.
Yep.
Do you have some sort of tips, or do you have some suggestions on how, someone that's like not
As I
naturally a marketer, how do you kind of market yourself?
Well, I guess if they've already got an Instagram, that means unknowingly they're already a marketer.
Yeah.
Every photographer has a style or a certain way they do things, and that's your unique selling point. That's what you've got to start showing in your folio.
Yeah.
So maybe you shoot things at 45-degree angles, and that's just your thing. So if your folio is then full of that 45-degree fun stuff, you're building up that reputation for yourself. You're building that into your brand and into your work. And maybe somewhere I'm a marketer, I'm looking, I think, you know what, I really need a 45-degree angle photo. This guy's great. Look at all of these 45-degree angle photos.
We call it the Dutch tilt.
Having an understanding of what your thing is and putting that up on your folio is going to be
It really
something
goes
that
back
helps.
to the unique selling point.
Absolutely, yeah.
And knowing
yourself, knowing what your style is, why you do it that way.
I guess a lot of photographers, certainly through my experience of years working with photographers, they try to guess what other people want, right? And you can never do that. And especially now with the market so flooded with photography, it is owning who you are and putting what you want and who you want to be doing it for out there.
Absolutely,
And this is just another platform to be doing that, as well as a website.
Yep.
As well as LinkedIn, as well as shaking hands and going out to meet people.
Yes.
And social media. Can you do it wrong?
So I guess if you chopped and changed a bit too much, like I said before, if you don't know who you're trying to work with and you've got travel over here and chocolate bars over here and pot plants here and suddenly fashion, people will be like, okay, this guy, this girl doesn't really know what they want. So having a niche that you can start in, you can diversify, and maybe you do some things on the side. Sally and I were talking earlier about wedding photography. You don't have to be known for the other things you can do, but having something that you start your selling with that brings the people in, that's a great marketing tactic.
Yeah.
I brought up wedding photography because I said I liken content creation a little bit like wedding photography, in the sense that you can't really repeat it. The day of the wedding, you shoot it. You got to get it right on the day. And with you brief somebody, and they go off, and they can't come back and go, "Oh, I didn't." Can they come back and go, like, "I didn't get it right, really"?
I might give them one more chance. Yeah.
That's where we got talking about wedding photography.
Yeah.
And with wedding photography, is that a brand as well? Can it become is there an influencer bride thing going on out there?
Yeah, there absolutely is. I actually have an influencer I worked with quite a few times last year, and she's getting married, and so she's pivoted all her content now to I'm a 2026 bride, and putting all sorts of brand deals and stuff like that. So it absolutely can be done.
Is she getting people to pay for the wedding and champagne at the wedding and all those sorts of things, or have I just gone straight to Hollywood?
Maybe a little bit Hollywood, but I definitely think there'd be a few things that she's organised. I actually think she was a Swinburne student as well.
Does she need a podcast at the wedding? Sorry. I was an influencer
that's amazing.
before I knew
And
it.
so that brand, that influence brand, can change
Yeah.
and alter, but just not chop and change sort of thing. But as long as it's intentional.
Yeah, I guess so,
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a bit about blogging? Is that different?
Yes, well, I do look after blogging as well. So similar to having that whole who you're talking to, who's your brand piece. In the agency I work at, I work closely with my SEO colleague, and we work together on what sort of blogs need to go out to, one, meet her SEO words, and two, what sort of content's going to be helpful and relevant and valuable to people reading, and sort of aside three, what sort of content will the AI pick up and spit back out to people who are looking for these answers that we might be able to give.
So are you blogging for the same, let's call the car hire company, because that's what you've talked about. Are we blogging for the same, for them as well as doing influencing and social content?
Yes, and they all match up, and it makes me very happy when the blog and the socials and the influencers all talk about the same thing, and the February month is a nice little bow. Oh, it's great.
Oh, look at you.
I know. What I love is that you sort of are glowing with, like, you seem to really love your job.
Yeah, I really like the whole bringing everything together and like it's probably a little bit of a control freak thing, where the branding comes into play, and hey, we've told that whole story over the month and everything's matching up.
I'm
so
interested.
great.
I'm still going to go on about the blogging. Because, you know, with my website, for instance, with the Brown Bill Effect, I had a blog for years and years and years, and then I worked with different people, and then they said, look, you don't really do blogs anymore. Your content's going to do all these different things, and there's all these different answers. Why should people have a blog these days, and where does the blog go? Who sees the blog? Is it on the Hire Car website? Is it on their social media? Is it tattooed on their forehead?
It feels quite like early 2000s blogging. It sort of happened before social media, didn't it?
Bloody blogged and wrote
I'd say it's back, so just like TV is back. So social media is very saturated, as you know. Substack is the popular social media at the moment. So it's longer form blogging. Yeah, longer form content. People are sick of your emoji captions and your one sentence things. They want to be more engaged, and you can already see people doing this on ChatGPT. They're wanting to know all these answers. If you've got a blog that clearly details what they're looking for and is solving one problem, that's going to be really valuable. And maybe that goes on Pinterest as well. And then that info sort of gets dissected down into little content pieces. And this is what I do for my socials too. Say how to use the car hire app. Then I've got social posts that sort of break down maybe 1/3 of the blog each, and then that gets disseminated out.
Can we just go back 45 steps?
Absolutely.
And just explain what Substack is to people that might not know?
Yeah, so it's just a blogging platform where you have longer form pieces. If you've heard of Medium as well, it's similar, where you've got writers and they put out pieces of content.
So I write a lot and I put it on articles on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Is that a similar thing?
Similar. You might find if you publish the same or similar on Substack, you might get a bit more reach.
God, I'm so excited about that. And where does photography come into that?
I guess if you were a photographer and identifying some pain points in some customers, maybe in a restaurant, if you're a food photographer, you could be explaining why photography for restaurants is needed and why that elevates the look and feel of your brand and how you would shoot and that sort of thing, and explaining really to your target audience, your restaurant clients that you want, why it's worth hiring you.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I knew this would be interesting. I'm loving this.
Okay, so Substack is probably the most popular blogging platform at the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
And so is Blue Sky, is that a blogging platform, or is
that's
that
micro-blogging? So more similar to Twitter, X.
More Twitter, okay. So short form. But more text.
Yeah, but
I
guess if you wanted to, you could sort of repurpose that piece into 10 tweets or whatever you call them these days across all the platform.
I've never tweeted because I'm a bit nervous about my instant reactions to things, because often it involves...
Well, I'm not sure we call it threads now or Blue Sky or something, posting. Yeah.
And does Blue Stack cost a lot of money? Substack even? Blue Sky?
I'd have to do a bit more research into that.
I'm just so overwhelmed with your blue shirt. I just want to say blue all the time. Substack, does it cost money?
I'd have to do some more research into that. I don't post on Substack at the moment.
And why's that?
I have a lot of other platforms to manage. But yeah, it could be something to explore.
Actually, that's a nice segue, because I wanted to ask, I guess there's so many platforms now, right? And there's so many different ways you can engage. And, you know, I think we also all have to be a little bit conscious of our mental health and being online all the time and what I do think you can find real communities online, but also you need real life as well.
Yes.
And so I guess how do you... Oh, I've got lots of questions all of a sudden. Maybe just personally, like how do you manage kind of being online all the time? You know, and being online not only probably for yourself and your own personal brand, but also for all your clients as well. Is it? Do you have to give yourself some hard kind of
absolutely
partitions?
Hard boundaries and hey, we're not logging onto the client accounts at home and that sort of thing. And hey, maybe on my commute home, I don't touch my phone. I just read a book and look outside the window.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that mental health aspect of it.
A book with paper or a Kindle?
Oh, a book with paper.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. That's good.
Definitely.
Do you, when Harri was asking those questions, she said your own brand. Do you have a lot of your own social media you're doing, or do you just kind of go, no, I'm not going to do that? I'll do it.
Mainly LinkedIn. I do a little tiny bit of Instagram, but mainly LinkedIn for my personal professional brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite thing that you do with all of the different things that you do? What is it that you go, do you get to art direct photo shoots? Do you work with alongside the photographers in the studio, or do you go out to a winery with an influencer and go, right, you're going to photograph me drinking wine all day and see what happens?
I wish.
Imagine if I was a content creator. Can you
That
imagine
would
what mine
be
would be
great.
like? You know?
Yep. So
If you need a volunteer, here we are. We could podcast from a winery.
yeah, we actually could.
Start off with one bottle and work our way through. That could be
by
fun.
the end, I don't know what we'd be talking about.
I know. That's the mini series.
So I do like probably the overarching branding stuff. So all of the other aspects are just deliverables, I guess, of building up the brand story, whether that's socials, whether that's blogging, whether that's the influencer, whether that's putting out the creative for the paid ads. And I guess the fun part for me is actually delving into building that brand strategy, building that brand guidelines, and talking to the client and discovering who their audiences are and what sort of stories we're going to tell. That part to me is really great, because all the other bits sort of need that overarching thinking behind it before you can go. You can't just say, all right, we're starting social media, go post. You need that thinking over the top to
and
do
that
it
would
well.
be
The
exciting.
foundations,
Yeah, it would be exciting too when a client sort of goes, God, I've never really thought about it. Yes, we do appeal to children as well as mothers, because the children are the ones that, and you go, and they'll go, gosh, we've never, sometimes things are really right in front. Like when you look in the wardrobe and you can't find that shirt and it's right there. Yeah. And that's a really exciting moment
It is,
too.
yes, and uncovering those little moments that you can build into these mini-series or content series is also really great.
And on that note, your background in design, does that help with how things look? Is that your role, or do you pass it on to someone else?
Yeah, so I do all of the content creation for the carousels and the videos and whatnot for the clients. Yeah.
So actually that double degree's come in.
That double
very,
degree is
very
so handy. Yes. Couldn't live without my
Being able
Adobe
to
Illustrator.
jump on the tools.
Yeah.
And do you work in After Effects and
Yep,
Premiere
all
Pro?
all of those. Yeah. Illustrator's my favourite.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, we're going to be wrapping up soon, and you've got a fantastic offer for our listeners.
I do,
haven't you?
I do.
It's written down there, darling, if you need to do that.
So as part of Red Herring Digital, downstairs we run another business called Yarrville Studio Hire. So we're based in Yarrville, and it's a photography studio. It's fully kitted out with lighting. You've got a big cyclorama, and you've got a few props you can use and backdrops and some clothing racks, and if you're doing fashion, there's an iron and a steamer. And our studio is offering 20% discount to all bookings over the next, if you book in the next 6 months, with the code HAS20, that'll get you 20% off your booking fee.
Amazing.
As in Harri and Sally.
That's right, for Harri and Sally.
Oh, gosh, look at me. I'm right up there with being smart.
And click.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so we're going to mention that again.
Thank you so much
That's
to
all right.
you and to Red Herring for giving our listeners that offer. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Red Herring, for letting, I was going to call you Sinead, there I was, Renee coming in today. That's wonderful. So it's HAS20, and the studio's in Yarrville.
Yes, that's right.
And how do they contact you? Through a website?
Yeah, so you can either go to yarrvillestudiohire.com.au, or you can find Yarrville Studio Hire on Peerspace or Tag Venue.
Brilliant. And then they can just book it.
Yeah, they can. Just add that code in when you go to check out.
Oh,
Amazing.
that is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that
that's
offer.
all right.
And thank you to the powers that be at your
Yes.
studio for letting you out for the day.
Yep.
And so what are you off to do this afternoon?
I'm actually going to go and choose models for a photo shoot that I'm running. So that's for the car hire company. I'm going to go choose more models and
Amazing.
families and students.
So
to
how do
be
you
in the
do
picture.
that? You'll be going onto these different sites
Yeah,
that you've
different
mentioned
sites.
and
Some of the relationships we have with talent agencies as well. Yeah.
wonderful.
We're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So
me.
we're all
Always
going
trying to
to
get
go
in front of the
car.
camera.
Read this afternoon.
Oh, that's exciting. And that's going to be a photo shoot with a photographer in the studio, or is it going to be an influencer? Or
That's going to be our in-house photographer and in-house content creator, and we're going to go out probably out and about Melbourne to go shoot.
And you're art directing that?
Yeah, I have made the shot list, so I guess, yep, you can say I've art directed that.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Renee. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah.
It's just been a real eye-opener.
It has, and so like your energy is infectious. It almost I feel excited to go online.
Oh yes, come over to marketing.
But the other thing with you too, Renee, is you just know your stuff so well. Like you know exactly what you're talking about. I feel very confident with you,
Thank you.
I think that anyone that is wanting to work with you on Red Herring, that's what you want, because so many people are a bit like, I'm not sure about, and do I have the money for this? And do you work within budgets for people? If they say, look, we've only got a small amount, is it worth it? What do you think it's worth it? Of course you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always take the budgets into account. We have a client at the moment, I won't mention them, but they're very basic social media. They just want a presence. They don't want to do too much as long as they look like they're alive and active, and we do that for them. We make sure it fits in their budget.
Right through to full on
right
else.
Through to full on Australia-wide campaigns.
I think the biggest thing is actually having the confidence in the person that you're working with.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you're not bullshitting us, or you really know, and by getting to know that person,
and
so
that someone's listening to you.
An account management role, someone's listening to you.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh look, I think it's wonderful, and it. You can't fight City Hall. It's the way of the future, isn't it?
Yep,
absolutely.
And we've all got a piece in where we all fit in.
Yep.
With photography, with videography, with what we're doing, and moving with the times as well.
Yep.
So I guess we've sort of got a final question, but it's sort of around what you look for in a photographer. But for you, I think, can we ask, what would you say the three most important things that a creative person, a photographer, or anyone in the creative industry can do when they're trying to market themselves on social media?
Yep. The consistency is key, and having something that you're building towards or that you're known for, like I said before, whether that's your Dutch tilt or whether that's I put all my cupcakes in front of neon pink, for example, and that's what you're known for, because having that thing that you're known for is what's going to sort of build you up your brand and make you a bit famous for it.
Yeah.
I think another thing I look for is the willingness to bring new ideas to the table. So like I said, when I'm looking for creators, I might have a brief for them, but if they've got another idea for me, we work with that. I want to see that energy coming to me as well.
Yeah.
And if that's actually the collaborations that I've loved the best, because sure, I can have an idea as a marketer, but you're really hiring these people because they know their stuff.
Yeah.
And you've got to let that shine.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
We love you.
Yeah, we do.
And what a wonderful, what a way to end. And I'm just going to let everybody know that code again for the studio in Yarrville. It's HAS20, and you can get to it through yarrvillestudiohire.com.au.
Yep.
Can't believe I remembered that. And thank you so much, Renee Chung. You have just been bloody fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been so
amazing.
fun.
Oh, thanks so much for coming on.
It went quickly, didn't it?
It did.
The best things do. Is that right? I just made that up.
Yeah, that's right.
Harri, thank you. We'll see you again.
See you, Sally.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks. I don't know why I waved. You're so close to me. We're waving.
We just want to thank all our fabulous crew that are working with us on Season 3 of When Harri Met Sally. Shaquille Raymond, back for Season 3. Couldn't do this without you.
God love him. I'm glad he keeps coming back. Ezra Williams, who's just started with us this year, who is working with us on filming, videoing, social media and all other things fabulous. And a huge thank you to Ash Wilson, who will be working alongside Ezra, editing all of the videos for YouTube. Thanks, Ash.
And Martin Stevens, Sally's wonderful husband, and also music extraordinaire, who's done our intros and outros for 3 seasons now. Thank you so much, Martin.
Yay, Martin. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, Ash Peters, we'd like to say thank you for supplying the artwork to put in the pod suite. It's made a huge difference. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for listening. See you next week.
Bye.